Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings.
I'm your co-host. I'm Ben Dickerson, fantasy geek and lover of everything NFL football.
And this is Ben and Barry on football. You can always reach us at www.benandbarryonfootball.com.
Simple enough.
Simple enough, absolutely. Well, we had the Thursday night game already.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're looking and we're going to talk about the slate of games for the upcoming weekend. It's been an eventful week, to say the least.
A few things
happened this week. Today is the September 6th, right?
Correct.
All right, September 6th, 2019. And so let's start right off by just, do you have any thoughts about the previous week, anything? Let's talk about Thursday night's game real quick.
Okay.
You had practice. Ben's still coaching, right? I'm coaching on Madden. That's the only coaching I'm doing. But I'm home watching the game.
Right.
Chicago comes out on the first play, and it's this real tricky handoff thing that completely didn't go anywhere. And we had just did a show on the Brain Trust.
Right.
And I'm like, who called that? Okay.
Did it seem to even be well conceived and just did not work, or was it?
Well, it wasn't well conceived in that it's become obvious to anyone who watches football now that what we've been saying since last season, when we coined the first 4 games of the year, the second preseason, we did that a season or two ago. People are now saying this looks like a preseason game.
I know where you're coming from.
These guys haven't really played together yet.
Right, so that type of a play probably should not have, yeah.
There's a few fundamental plays that you should have some serious command of at this particular point. Right. Maybe not a big playbook, but the other part was, and everyone's talking about how little they ran the ball, and how much he's throwing the ball in what was essentially a 4-point game most of the time.
We're talking about Trubisky now.
Trubisky.
Right.
Seriously, when we talked about Trubisky, I think I mentioned and I questioned, the whole running quarterback thing. Are you going through, your primary to your secondary? You know what I mean? Are you getting to that third receiver before you start taking off? Lots of blitzes. The Green Bay Packers was coming at them, that's for sure. The line looked like a line that hadn't gelled yet completely.
Right.
But that's why you're running the ball. That's why you're doing a few things that you should be able to do real well.
Yeah.
And he looked bad. Let me say it that way. He kind of looked bad. If you look at his stats, you might not think he looked that bad, because some of the stats when I was looking at completions and all of that, but he was throwing the ball where you had open guys. He's making passes to guys who have to make super catches now. They're on the sideline, they're reaching out like that, and you got 2 or 3 guys underneath that you could have got the ball to. So he was really, and I'm like, did he regress? What was Nagy looking at through the preseason to think that he was, ready, or what was it? I was surprised. There you go.
I did get home in time enough to see most of the fourth quarter, and it was still a game, obviously, at that time. They were 1 touchdown and an extra point away from tying it up and possibly going to overtime. And they were throwing the ball a lot. When I first got in, I'm thinking, they still have time to put together a good drive and just nail this thing in, right? But they did go to the air quite a bit. I don't know if previously in the game they were having trouble running the ball, decided to give it up.
No.
Because they weren't in hurry up, not right away. They ended up being in hurry up.
You mentioned hurry up. If you don't mind me quick saying, okay. Keep an eye across the league now about the additional use of the hurry up. I'm hearing more coaches talking about using it. And using it more like the Patriots, where it's not necessarily a hurry up. It's change of tempos and things like that.
Right.
And it was because of things like that. When I looked at it, I said, well, you got two teams, both are really kind of not in sync, okay, offensively. Defenses can come just do their thing. They're a little better off in the beginning.
Defense usually gels before the
yeah, because it's a different mindset, different, not the same type of coordination.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But so you know that was happening, but they didn't look very coordinated either. But the difference was you had one quarterback who was Aaron Rodgers,
okay,
and the other guy was Mitchell Trubisky. Ended up, you know, and they apologized after the game.
Although they did look bad, and from what I saw in critical moments of the game in the fourth quarter when they still had a chance to tie up and possibly win the game, he threw some really bad-looking passes. And I'm thinking to myself, if he's throwing bad-looking passes like this now, there's no telling what he was doing in the first half that I missed. So I watched the highlights this morning. And, yeah, they were throwing the ball all over the place, and he did not look good at all. He didn't look accurate at all.
Tactically, they were close enough in many cases that had they run the ball and just maybe got another 3 yards, whatever, they might have been within field goal range. I think, number one, they did not want to lean on their field goal kicker at all. But he hit the kicks that were handed to him, and he hit them. Okay, well, that's what he hit. But I think that they could have won that game on field goals. They could have got within range of 4 field goals during that game.
So, okay. So you watched the game and you're telling me that they were within field goal range, or on the verge of being within field goal range,
on the verge of in many
3 or
cases,
4 times.
And if had they ran the ball, okay.
So what did they do instead? Punt?
They're throwing the ball.
No, they didn't. Did they punt?
But yeah, they wound up. You know, well,
did they turn it over on downs?
I think a couple times they went for it, as a matter of fact.
So they turned it over on downs. That's insane.
The thing is, at one point they were.
I'm going to rewatch this game, y'all.
At one point they were 1st and 40.
All right, well that's.
They had gone. That was another whole scenario.
Penalties and crap.
But that's part of your team not being in sync. The preseason syndrome, things not working right, penalties, offsides. You know what I mean? A little holding, a little pushing. So first game looked like a preseason game, but Mitchell Trubisky, in and of himself, didn't look good. Where in that same sort of kind of situation, Aaron Rodgers was much more efficient. Aaron Rodgers did a couple things that I wondered. He ran a couple times. He held on to the ball, sprinting out at least one time, and got pulled down real awkwardly. So even his thoughts about running are going to need to be modified. He ran. I think he ran for first. He slid, but I'm like, you're Aaron. It's early. I don't even know if I would have wanted him to do that, you know. But Aaron was Aaron. So Aaron can hit that short to medium. He'll find that open guy, you know what I mean? The play's supposed to go over here, but there's a guy there, and Aaron hits him. Trubisky's throwing to the guy in the corner with 3 guys on him. He's diving like this to try to make the pass. And that's what it looked like to me. That's what.
On top of the fact that he had people open and still missed them also. So the previous show where we just talked about that game, one of the questions was, because Aaron Rodgers didn't play at all in the preseason, how would he be? How would he look? On top of the fact that he's got a new head coach who also is bringing in a somewhat new offense, okay? And how would that gel and how would they look? And the other question was, is this going to be the year that Mitchell Trubisky takes that next step to become a really good quarterback? Those were the things that we were wondering about. The 2 things that we knew or thought we knew from the previous year was that the Bears defense was going to be good and the Packers defense hadn't been good and would need to be good for them to even give this new offense a chance and for them to win games and make the playoffs. So we got some answers. Now, before we even talk about the answers, remember it's only week 1. It's the first game. So fantasy wise, do not panic. If you have Aaron Jones, if you have Rodgers, yes, Aaron Jones, the running back. If you have Aaron Rodgers, if you have Marquez Valdez-Scantling,
if you got those, what about if you got those Chicago Bears running backs that they were not using?
Keep them. Keep them.
I think they have to realize that
Montgomery's going to be good, but they early on they obviously decided that they were going to throw the ball, and they liked Davis better, so they put Davis in. Cohen is a given because he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and they can line him up in the slot.
Shaky in the beginning, catching some balls. It's the first game. It really showed that it's the first game. I'm gonna just agreeing with you to the nth degree. It really showed that it was the first game.
I'm telling you, come this Sunday, you're going to see some teams play well. Everybody's not going. Every game's not going to be like that. Everybody's not going to look like that. Some teams are going to look like the preseason is over and we're ready to get down. Some teams are. Some teams won't.
It's going to be interesting to see who does that.
Again, the same analogy that I used when we were talking about Rodgers, I used Wentz. Let's see how the Eagles look when they come out. Because I tell you what, man, I blame some of the inefficiency in game 1 on the coaches.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
I definitely, but it was obvious. 2 things were obvious that we questioned. Number 1, Trubisky did not look good, and he was very inaccurate, did not seem to be in sync with his receivers at all. He threw the ball pretty well to the backs on dump-offs and stuff in the flat and stuff like that. He looked pretty good there. Getting the ball downfield, he didn't look good at all. He's going to have to fix that. The other thing was the Packers defense looks like it's in repair. Like they look pretty doggone good. So if we already know the Bears defense is good and could questionably be the number 1 defense in the NFL or ranked that way, which our power rankings will prove that as the season goes. Or even if you're looking at it in fantasy, they're top 3, top 4 in fantasy. Okay, you expect them to do well. The Bears defense had 5 sacks. They gave up 213 total yards. 213 total yards. That's bad for the Packers. They got to do better than that. 213 total yards? Come on now. But again, new offense, boom. But we expected the Bears defense to be good. What we weren't sure was the Packers defense, who had 5 sacks also and a huge interception and only gave up 254 total yards. That's big.
The challenge is figuring out whether or not the defenses were that good or the offenses were that bad. There's a balance of both of them there. And my whole point in talking about that is that when I looked at both offenses, okay, neither offense looked very much in sync.
Okay.
But in that chaotic situation, having an Aaron Rodgers was a real advantage. Okay? It doesn't make
but guess what? You
can call the system whatever you want, but it's a play. Aaron Rodgers knows the play, but he knows how to move, stay open, keep his eyes down, and get to that second or third receiver.
But
and throw a ball that Aaron Rodgers throws. It's eminently catchable.
And we expect that from Aaron Rodgers.
We expect that. So I'm saying early on in that chaos, having him there was, that, to me, that was the difference.
Just like we expect the Bears defense to be the Bears defense. Not surprised they had 5 sacks. I'm not surprised they held them to under 300 yards, except that Aaron Rodgers wasn't really Aaron Rodgers. Okay, he made one really good pass that led to the touchdown. And after that, they didn't look much better than the Bears.
That's what I'm saying. The offenses were not good, but Aaron Rodgers made the few passes that needed to be made. Like I said, in that chaos, both offenses, neither one of them, in that unsynchronized situation, both offenses were just having a guy like Aaron Rodgers that can go boom and know to get it to that tight end like that, and they got
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has to have more than one boom. I don't care how chaotic things are.
Let me tell you,
he has to have more than one boom. The story of the day is the Packers defense. That's the story of the day.
And you can say, go ahead.
You can say that they took advantage of the Bears playing not playing well. But I see differences in the Packers defense, and they worked hard at it, and they spent money on it, and I think it's gonna bear itself out. Sorry, Bears, for saying bear itself out. But
Actually, you're right. They're better. I agree with you on that. They look better. They look faster. Look stronger. Again, how much was the Bears? All right, let's move on.
It's going to take weeks to find out if these offenses.
Well, we're going to find
good.
out a little bit more in the upcoming weekend, okay? Because we're going to get a chance to see the other 30 teams and how they look as we enter this second preseason, as we call it. So let's go through them real quick. For all of you guys who call yourself fans, we have a new commandment for you.
It's really an old commandment. Some of y'all might not know about it, so we're going to let you know about it now. Don't ruin your conversation with me making a statement like this. If you can't see it, tell them what it says, man.
Thou shalt not claim to have two favorite NFL teams.
Not.
You
don't have two favorite NFL teams.
No.
You have one favorite NFL team.
No.
When somebody says, well, who's your team? Don't say, well, my AFC team is. Please don't. Don't embarrass yourself. Okay, we can go.
That's it. That's it. All right, so you know where we come from. We're firm on that. All right, let's talk about, Tyreek Hill real quick.
He got a new contract? Good for him.
Yeah, he got paid.
So I think they did enough investigating and they've done enough over the last few months to figure out that they trust him to stay out of trouble.
Okay, I hear you talking. We shall see.
That's them talking. They talked with money. That ain't me.
You just said it.
They talked with
Rams versus Panthers, sir.
What about it? What time is the game?
Me.
What time is the game?
Oh, I think this is.
You have game times on there?
Why do you always ask the one question?
You got me the last time with the question about who was home.
I keep telling you.
I already know who's home.
Now, look. But the beauty is we are at Ben and Barry on football, right? Which means that all of those questions that you have about football, they're answerable.
1 o'clock. Okay, now, do you know why I need to know if it was 1 o'clock?
A click. Wait a minute. This is the Who is this? The Rams and the Panthers. Because of your infamous
West Coast to East Coast.
West Coast to East Coast
That's
theory.
Right. So
explain the Dickerson West Coast to East Coast.
Well, it's not my theory.
I've heard it on TV.
Yeah, it's a known thing. Teams traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast because of the time zones, okay, have a little trouble getting themselves together, specifically for 1 o'clock games. Okay? They're playing at 4:25 or they got the night game. Can't quite lean on that as much. So when you guys are out there betting on games or you have fantasy players, that's something to take into account. It's real. It's not 100%, but it's real.
It's kind of like the inverted yield curve, right? All right, we'll move right on that one.
So tell me, because this is the first game of the season, we don't have any net point power rankings. What happened with these teams last year?
Funny you should ask that question. All right, I got some information here. Let's take a quick look because the Rams were at the top last year. They actually came in third in net points with plus 143. So that's strong. Only two teams ahead of them in net points as of the end of the 2018 season. That would be the Chiefs and the Saints. Mm-hmm. In terms of scoring, they were second out of the entire league, put up 527 points. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, where they became a little more down to earth there is on the defense, because let me see, I got to scroll down to find them at 20th. And that was part of the surprise last year. Because they came in with a personnel set up on defense that we were like, they look strong.
They had a lot of star players.
Okay, that's why they look strong.
Well, they look strong on paper because we saw names.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now they're playing the Panthers, right? Carolina came in 16th in net points last year with -6 to finish out the season. Now we know that it was a a tough year for Cam. They came in 14th in scoring with 376. Carolina came in 19th. I think that's probably one of the surprises in terms of points against with 382. And where are they? 16th in turnover differential with +1.
Okay. Well, obviously we can't use last year's power rankings to help us determine who we think is going to win this game. However, when you look at that information, it kind of tells you that without any big upheaval on either team, that the Rams should be better than Carolina statistically. However, well, I shouldn't say however. I kind of believe that too. And I think that they'll be fine. Even though it's a 1 o'clock game, I'm pretty sure that they're going to be able to handle Carolina. It may be a pretty good game, though.
I'm probably going to repeat myself in every game here now because this is going to be something that I'm looking at. When I looked at that Bears-Packers game, and I looked at the fact that these, this is going to be league-wide where some of these teams did get some playing time for their starters. So there was some playing time that happened, and some people didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But that first game and the lack of synchronicity, you know what I mean, that develops over time. Looking at the quarterback again, and in that condition, having an Aaron Rodgers, he was better in that condition than Trubisky was. Now you go to this game, right? You got Goff and you got Cam, and if they're not quite in sync, who would operate better in that situation? Now, I'm thinking Cam might start running if it gets a little hectic out there, which you don't want him doing. Goff is more likely to stay in the pocket and throw the ball. So that's.
But you're saying if they're both not in sync,
if the teams overall,
who do you think can pull his team through?
Yeah,
as Rodgers did,
kind of, sort of. Yes.
Right. Okay. If they're not in sync, I'm going with Cam.
You're going with Cam.
That's right.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Man's going with Cam. Why are you saying that?
I said if things turn out to be like the other night, where both offenses look shaky,
right?
I think Cam will pull his team through it or pull his offense through it better than Jared Goff will.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. All right. Here you got the Titans and the Browns. Oh man, Titans and the Browns again. I believe this is a 1 o'clock game. Let's take.
I don't care about time on that one.
All right, you don't care about the time. Yes, right, because we don't have the cross-country scenario there. But this is an interesting matchup because the Titans aren't exactly like the Patriots coming in. You know what I mean?
They aren't at all.
So the questions that we have about the Browns. The team that they get to kick the season off against should be competitive. You know what I mean?
It looks that way.
Yes, it does. It looks that way to you.
Guess how it looked the other day? It looked like the Bears was going to whoop up on the Packers if the Packers weren't able to generate some offense. And Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers and pulled them through, got one stinking touchdown, and they won because Trubisky was a bum. That can happen any week, any day. I mean, any game this first week.
But you like Cam in that situation. In this Titans game?
Yeah. No, I'm saying it can happen again.
It's going to happen every week.
Not necessarily.
Game. I mean, in every game because
not necessarily.
Because I think I don't think any of these teams are going to be at the height of their.
Nobody's going to be at the height.
That's what I'm saying.
They were nowhere near their height Thursday night.
All of them are still going to look a little like preseason.
You have to show
football.
Some offensive efficiency. There was no offensive efficiency Thursday night. Some of these games, you're going to see some offensive efficiency. And you're going to be going, wow, it could happen.
It could happen in this
Yes,
one?
it could.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. Who do you think has the best chance of being an efficient
Baker
squad?
Mayfield.
The Browns?
The Browns, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Chiefs, Jaguars. Now, this is going to be interesting. Okay. First of all, you got the Mahomes factor. You got the whole scenario. They just made their signing. We just showed their signing. So they don't look like a team
They
that
just decided to give Tyreek Hill some more money. That's all. They trust that he's not going to mess up anymore, and he's not going to beat up his girlfriend or punch his kid in the chest.
But they got Tyreek Hill. He's there now for sure. So what do you think about the Chiefs overall?
I don't think we should see anything less of the Chiefs. In fact, if any team is going to be a little bit better, if not the same as they were the year before, I think it would be the Chiefs.
Okay.
Some of that offensively, some of that might depend on guys like Sammy Watkins playing a little better than they did, and Damian Williams being able to keep going where he left off last year. Defensively, they've got to be better. And if the Packers got better, I think the Chiefs can get better, but they got to show me. So I'll be looking for that.
Yeah, that whole coordination, the synchronous scenario is going to be very interesting with both of these squads, especially now you got the Jaguars with Nick Foles. St. Nick at the helm. Can he do 16 straight games? That's the question. I will say that again.
I said, how long are you going to call him that?
What, St. Nick?
You sound like an Eagles fan when you say that.
Oh, yeah?
It's bothering me.
It's bothering me. The anti-Eagle entity.
Even Eagles
blood start to go.
Eagles fans need to give it up, too.
Let's not get it
twisted.
Look,
giving these guys
I'm telling you what they call them.
I don't care. We already know what they call him.
No, I don't know. If
he ain't that no more. He's gone.
We shall say.
He's in Florida.
That's right. What do you think? You like the Jaguars this year at all?
I like the Jaguars if they play defense like they're supposed to.
Okay.
The defense that they had 2 years ago, if that defense reappears, they're going to be a problem.
Jacksonville had the 5th best defense in terms of points given up last year with 316. So we know that they needed to score better. Offensively, I think they're going to be a little further down. Let me take a look. Let me scroll down here a little bit. And there they go at 20. Well, that's 24 net points. They were minus 71 in net points last year.
Minus 71 in total net points.
Yep.
That's horrible.
For the year. So
that's horrible.
Things went dysfunctional for them last year. So they're coming from a dysfunctional state. Now they're questioning whether they're going to be tuned up and ready on the first game, as opposed to the Chiefs, who are kind of a high-functional team. Expect that they're going to be a little more tuned up, a little more ready. But we shall see. I was surprised. I thought the Bears was going to be, I thought they were going to be better. Ravens versus the Dolphins.
Chalk it. The Dolphins are tanking. They don't want to call it.
Heard that.
They don't want to call it tanking in football. And the coach is going to be out there scheming and working hard all week long, trying to put them in positions to win. But it's going to be the same as when the Sixers were going through the process. Management is going to give them players that they just cannot win with. They're going to try. They're going to work hard. But anybody that's they just traded.
I want one of those newsflash. Newsflash. The Dolphins are tanking.
It's not a newsflash. It's obvious.
Well
they
known.
Traded their left tackle. They got Fitzpatrick, who everybody loves when he's going good, but really doesn't care, and they trade him all over the league, and just give away his best left tackle. If I was him, you know what I'd say? Forget this fight between me and Josh Rosen. Go ahead, Josh. You go out there, play behind that rickety line.
This guy's tuned up today. What about the Ravens? You like the Ravens?
I can't wait to see the Ravens. I cannot wait to see Lamar Jackson. And again, just like a couple other teams, just like the Packers, we have the promise of a great new offensive scheme. I want to see it.
The move toward college is what everybody's talking about. The NFL is looking like it's moving more toward college. I had a thought, and we're going to talk about the Cardinals.
If you have a guy that was a great college quarterback, yes. If you didn't, no.
Wait, did we just skip something here? Falcons, Vikings.
This one's real interesting. This one's really interesting. What was their net points last year?
Falcons, Vikings. Tell me what you're thinking about them while I pull that up.
What I'm thinking about is the Vikings are going to be a problem this year, but the Falcons should be also. Again, what's usually the problem with the Falcons is their defense. I don't want to say their defense stinks. I want to hope that they made some improvements. I know they spent some money and they brought in some guys. But Matt Ryan's been carrying them. They got Devontae Freeman back, so that'll help the running game a little bit. They'll be tough offensively at least, but the Vikings are scary. Okay? Vikings are scary on both sides of the ball.
Atlanta Falcons -9 net points.
Okay, so they're around the middle then.
Yeah. So I see that defensively I'm looking at about the 25th.
Yeah, that their defense always pulls them down. So, but they were still middle of the pack overall, which is a tribute to their offense and to Matt Ryan. So I'm sure the Vikings were on the plus side of the net points.
Now, you said Vikings scary.
Yes, because they should be strong on both sides of the ball.
I'm having a difficult time being scared of Kirk Cousins.
Dude, let's go on to the next game. If you want to start talking about Kirk Cousins, let's just go on.
I'm just having some difficulty with
all
that.
Right, that's fine.
Scary.
That's fine.
Now, you've been talking about the Bills, man. You've been building the Bills up.
I've been building up the Bills' defense, but we can't sleep on Josh Allen. Okay?
I actually like Josh Allen.
Josh Allen's a pretty good quarterback.
Bills was minus 105 points last year, net points at the end, ending at 28th in net points over the so they got some work to do. They got some work. Now let me see how much. I'll take a look and see what they scored last year because there they go, 30th with 269 points. So they've got some real work to do. But you like their defense, right?
Yes, I do.
You like the defense.
And I think that the Jets offense has a lot of promise. Obviously, when we're talking about the young quarterbacks that just came in, Sam Darnold should be showing a lot of improvement. They got
two young quarterbacks.
Yes.
Two young quarterbacks.
Yeah, they both came in the same draft class. So this is a good.
Which one will operate better in the chaos of the first game when things ain't going right, left and right?
One of them has Frank Gore as a running back and a rookie, and the other one's got Le'Veon Bell. So that defense got to step up.
That's assuming that the coach is smart enough to give it to Le'Veon.
These things all
he didn't want to. He said he wouldn't have paid the money for him. Remember he said that? That's what he said.
All right, we're talking about Big Eyes Gates, right?
Yes, sir.
You know he ain't got it all.
All right. Look. I know your
anti-Eagle
antigens are going to be here, but you got the Redskins and the Eagles. That's a division game. The NFC least. Is it least this year? You think they're going to be?
It's far from least.
Far from least. Okay.
Far from least.
That's just a blast from the past. I'm sorry. You got contenders left and right. You got the Eagles. I think they had the highest rating on Madden coming into the beginning. I have to go check them. They just did some updates. I don't know if they still have that. You have Deshaun Jackson coming back. You have Wentz. Everyone's looking for him for a full season. Okay.
Yep.
You got a coach who everybody's he's got a ton of respect across the league now as a top coach. He's a Super Bowl winner and everything. And you now have the Redskins. You got Dwayne Haskins. That's his name, right?
He's not starting.
Well, but he's there.
He's there.
Who's starting? That's right.
Who is starting? What's his name? Not Colt McCoy.
Came from the Broncos, right?
Keenum.
Case
Keenum.
Yeah,
another guy you cracked on a couple of times last year. And I told you he's a good game manager. And he can get it done.
Case Keenum was at the Vikings, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I said he should have stayed there and
No.
not been replaced by them Kirk Cousins.
Dude,
let's get it straight.
Dude, he almost got beat out by a rookie. Stop it. He barely held on to that job. He's a backup. He's a career backup. He's been a career backup, and he will continue to be a career backup.
Well, wouldn't it be funny if he came in and beat the Eagles?
Yeah, it'd be real funny. I'll be laughing my behind off, but guess what? I doubt if that's going to happen. Overall speaking, their team just isn't that good.
Doesn't look like they're ready.
But I tell you what, if the Eagles' offense comes out and looks sluggish like the Packers did, they won't be able to say, "Oh well, it's a new offense. Oh well, we had a new head coach. Oh well, Wentz didn't play in the preseason." I don't want to hear it.
Case Keenum can manage a game in most cases, so he actually might do
why
well.
He still got a job.
And he's used to playing with the second stringer, so he might be used to the chaos. You never know. All right, Colts, Chargers. Now, talking to chaos, talking about things that's happening and change up your offense. You got to get in sync with people. You got the Colts. Mr. Luck decided a week or so before the start of the season, I just can't do this no more. I just can't handle this. I need to go have a life. And Jacoby Brissett was handed a new contract.
As he should have been.
As he should have been. And now it's him. It's going to be Jacoby going up against the Chargers, who are having their own issues with Melvin Gordon. Wisconsin back who Melvin Gordon is, we watched him at Wisconsin. And let me tell you something. Melvin Gordon was an amazing guy. He came in the first, when he first came in with the Chargers, I just had the feeling that he was a bit wide-eyed, that it was like, this is a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So he didn't have the greatest rookie season.
Right.
And then he started coming on because he's talented. He's fast.
Absolutely.
He can catch. He can do all of those things. He's
Absolutely.
got good strength. He was a 2,000-yard rusher at Wisconsin. You know what I mean? And so he looked like he went to the book of Le'Veon and said,
Became a little bit more patient.
Well, are you willing to risk a year of not playing? That's what Le'Veon was able.
Oh, you're talking about the holdout.
The holdout.
Oh,
and it doesn't look like the Chargers is like I think they actually said something to the effect of, once the season starts, we're not doing any more negotiating until the end.
Not even once the season starts. They said 3 days ago, we're done.
So
we're done. We're not even going to address it. He could call us and say, hey, let's talk. No, we're not doing it. The end of the season, then we'll talk. In the meantime, if you think you can work out a trade with somebody wants you, tell them to give us a call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They're not fooling around with him, man, and I don't blame them. That's the way they have to be as a team. And their running game, they think they're prepared between Justin Jackson and the guy Eckler. They think the two of them together can get it done. I like the Chargers. They lost a linebacker. I can't remember his name right off the bat, but their defense was supposed to be really, really strong. Losing this guy is a little hurt piece to that, but I think they're going to be all right. But I'm a big Jacoby Brissett fan. When he was with the Patriots and he played in preseason and played when he had to back up Brady, he played well. In the games with the Colts, when Luck was down and he had to come in, he played well. I don't ever remember him stinking it up, ever. If anybody out there can remember him stinking it up, shoot us a message and remind me of what game that was. I think Jacoby Brissett's going to be just fine. He does not have the big arm like Luck does, so the offense is going to have to be maybe tapered down just a little bit, but they got weapons, man. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a good game.
Okay. All right. Looking forward to that then. Let's see what we have next up here.
You can chalk this one too. This is an easy one. There's no way the Bengals are going to go into Seattle and beat the Seahawks. Not going to happen.
My sleeper squad, the Seahawks. All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. DK Metcalf,
He's supposed to play.
supposed to play.
Said
He
he's
had this
ready.
little dinged up thing where for a little bit in the preseason, but I'm really interested to see. Again, he's just scouting them for my Niners and know what we're going to have to deal with. What I can expect.
Yep.
Because if I'm thinking right, he's going to wind up lining up right in front of Richard Sherman. Looking forward to that one. So we'll talk about that when it happens, but you like the Seahawks on that. All right, Mr. Giant fan. Got the Cowboys. Zeke is back. Zeke got so much money, he don't know what to do with himself. Got that big contract. Dak's still kind of wondering what they want to do with him. Amari Cooper is like, okay, pay me. I know, don't have to rush, but pay me. You guys, you have Eli, right? Eli's going to be the man. He's the starter. Eli can function in all types of non-confusing, chaotic situations, but anybody can. And he's got the gift, Saquon Barkley. That was his gift. Again, we call Saquon Barkley the gift because we saw him as a gift to Eli because it would extend Eli's career by at least 1 or 2 years, and it has. So this is his second year since the gift arrived. I don't know if the gift can get him 3 years, but if he has another 2,000-yard season, he just might, especially depending on what Eli says. So, Mr. Tight-Lipped, don't be tight-lipped now. What you got to say over there?
I'm not being tight-lipped. I'm patiently waiting for you to finish talking about gifts and all that stuff. Because giving a gift to Eli, a guy who will probably be in the Hall of Fame, whoopee-doo, okay? Yeah, I am a Giants fan, but I need a gift. And I got my gift. I got my gift this year in Daniel Jones. It's only a matter of time before they decide that he needs to be in there. And when it happens, I'll be happy because I believe that he's ready to be an NFL quarterback. Now, that being said, Amari Cooper's been dinged in camp, and he's got a little contract thing hanging over his head. Although he's been quiet about it, although there hasn't been any news about it, it's there. Dak's got a lot of news going on about his. It's there. He got a big chip on his shoulder, and I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be pressing on his mind or anything like that. Do not be surprised if this game is way better than people think it is, especially Cowboy fans. And do not be surprised if the Giants go in there and beat them by a field goal. Don't be shocked. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, all right. I hear you. Do not be shocked if it's and again, first game of the preseason, right? Zeke hasn't been there for squat all season. There's even going to be a question of how much they're going to use him. And if the Giants are smart enough to hand it off to the gift, they'll be in the game. They'll be in the game. I think they can.
They might be.
That's why he's the gift. The Lions versus the Cardinals. There actually was an article today. I forget who it is, but you can kind of Google it. One of the people on, I think, the NFL Network was talking about how to defeat the air raid. He just put it out there, how to defeat the air raid. You got the Lions, you got the Cardinals, you got the air raid, and Kyler, number 1 draft pick, rookie coach, who they're actually out loud talking about people in the NFL, other coaches or whatever, who apparently have a little bug up their butt about him getting that job, saying, like they want to beat the Cardinals because they don't believe that he
deserved that job.
He deserved that job. Like,
who do they think they are that they would even have something to say about that?
I don't know who they are, but that was a report that came across the media, and I'm like, wow, I was just surprised.
And this is supposed to be other NFL
people, yeah, NFL coaches, assistant coaches, I don't know, whoever in the, but Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, we're talking about, again, that first game when they're going to be actually running the offense that they're committed to running, as opposed to what they ran in the preseason when they were hiding that offense. So this will be a first in more than one way. The interesting thing was how much Fitzgerald and some of the more seasoned players on that team were so high on his ability to make decisions and get the ball out and things of that nature. They really liked, at least in the preseason. Now, he didn't look super great in any of the preseason games, but again, they weren't running what he's going to run.
Right. So in practice, when they were actually practicing their true offense, these guys liked what they saw from him.
They liked what they saw.
Okay.
This is where I had this weird thought. You know how when the pistol kind of came in to the NFL, that you had Chip, and then the Niners was running it, and then it was like the more conventional teams with their schemes, they weren't doing that. But then the next year, you started seeing them maybe have a play or two from that formation now in there.
Well,
they just kind of added in a little bit. I saw Andy Reid. Next thing he's running the pistol. Now this is a West Coast quarterback, and he's got the pistol built in, and that's kind of what they do, right?
Pistol's a formation,
but it's also just an approach, because it puts the quarterback in most of those plays in a situation where he might run. It's an option style formation. That's what it used
for. It's a formation that works well with the option.
Okay.
So what you got to decide is, do they go to the pistol because they want to run more option? In other words, you had teams that did it, you had teams that didn't, and now some of those teams that didn't are doing it now. Are they doing it now because it helps them run more RPOs?
Could be. I'm just saying it's interesting to see how the other teams begin to adopt. When that stuff comes in, and then they adopt it, they mix it in. So the question then comes up, how many years it's going to take? And people kind of say it's already in for the air raid, for people to have like an air raid series built into their schemes. Dude. You go all of a sudden and you're looking, I don't know if Tom Brady would run the air raid at all. Why?
Why? Because it's the same conversation we had when Chip Kelly came in from Oregon. How many years is it going to be before every team is getting a quarterback like Mariota and running chips that, look at this, they're going no huddle all the way down the field. Oh, it's only a matter of time before other teams get out of here.
They are running.
Make it work first. They're not.
The Cardinals are going to be in the hurry up, from what I understand. That's how they run that offense. Other teams that were not running hurry ups are doing moderate parts of it, like I just talked about with the Green Bay Packers. One of the things
we're talking
that kept
about
the Bears off kilter a little bit was Aaron would bring people up to the line of scrimmage real fast, and he was changing the tempo.
You just said yourself that's a change of tempo.
Yeah.
That's not a scheme. That's not.
But it's a tactic that a lot of teams weren't using.
But it's only a tactic.
Right, but they weren't
now
using
teams are starting to do
now
it.
They're using
but we're not talking about pistols and tempo changes as schemes. We're talking about, you just said, how long is it going to be before everybody's running the air raid offense?
I said as a part of their offense. I know.
What kind of question is that?
I'm ahead of the curve. Take it easy.
You're ahead of the curve with Chip, too.
Well,
he can't win at UCLA.
Hey, look.
Dude.
Chip came in. He did what he did.
Dude.
People probably stole a little bit of what he did, and then he was out. But Chip had other problems, like defense, for example. I mean,
his main problem was winning.
Well, without defense, you're not going to win. No, there's no doubt about that.
Okay. How many drafts did he get? He got a couple drafts. He couldn't get a defense. He couldn't get no players.
He's got a player in the Hall of Fame.
Stinks.
All right.
What time's the
game? My Niners.
What time's the game?
Whoa, man. You're painted. You know what?
No, I only asked for it twice.
You're supposed to know that.
I'm not supposed to. What are you talking about? 425. You're lucky. You might have a chance. You might have a chance in this one. No, really. I think that
we're coming cross all the way over.
From what I've seen,
the storm ravaged Tampa. Did Tampa get hit at all by?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure they got something. I'm sure
everybody's okay down there.
But from what I've seen from the Buccaneers, and Jameis Winston played a lot in the preseason, Offensively, they are not ready. They do not have a dependable running game. And now Mike Evans was hurt the games I watched.
Yeah.
So having Mike Evans back will be big for Jameis. And he's shown that he's working really well with Chris Godwin. So their offense may probably be, that doesn't sound right, may probably be. I'm sorry, y'all. It'll probably be better. I'm expecting it to be better. I really hope that it's better. That being said, if it's not, that's the Niners' best chance to win the game. If Jameis is on, y'all going to be in a little bit of trouble. A little bit.
We, I believe, have actually tightened up our defense a little bit. We got
a lot of little bits going on both teams.
We got some nice. Our front 6 to 8 on defense is nice. We upgraded one on our cornerback side with Barrett. So I'm kind of liking that. The question is going to be Garoppolo. Let's face it. He came in, he didn't look great. He looked okay. Well, he looked really bad in one preseason game. Looked okay in the next one preseason game. And again, we're still in that preseason mode. So, the question is who's going to operate at the higher level in that confusion. I would hope that it would be Garoppolo and hope he, be able to be the Garoppolo that he can.
I would believe that it would be Winston because he actually put in more time during the preseason.
Well, that might be true. He actually did.
And without all his weapons.
So, again, this will be the first time with everybody having all their weapons and the timing and things of that nature. So, I'm a Niner fan. Go Niners. Beat the Bucks. Yes.
Y'all gonna lose that game. Jimmy G should have a good game though. He should stack up some good numbers, but I don't think he's gonna win.
Breida, we got Tevin Coleman, man. Look, we got a little power. We still got Juszczyk. We got Kittle. Man, we talk about weapons.
Kittle and Jimmy G are the only two guys everybody knows.
Talk about weapons, man. That's okay. I don't care.
Chalk this one. Everybody wants to see Deshaun do well. They're picking him high in fantasy, but they're forgetting about the rest of that doggone team. Saints got something to prove. Saints are still upset over that Rams game, that playoff game. They're still upset. They're just as upset as if that game happened yesterday.
The Saints finished first in net points last year with 151 net points. That's ahead of the Chiefs, the Rams, the Bears, the Patriots, the Ravens, the Chargers. And I tell you, I understand it. However, I was one of those, I said, philosophically as a coach, I'm one of those guys that's like, there's so many plays in a game. And a lot of times it actually does come down to plays in optimum situations that makes the difference.
I know what you're going to say, that.
But I have a challenge blaming any one play and saying that one play.
I agree with you.
Because they had opportunities after that play.
They did, and they didn't come through. You're absolutely right.
So, we shall see. They were third in scoring. Chiefs.
Where were they defensively? That's what I really care about.
Defensively, well, see, again, this is where we start to drop down the rankings a little. Wait a minute, not too bad.
Yeah.
14th.
Guess what? I guarantee you.
Guarantee?
Guarantee. You can write this down and bring it up later.
Okay.
I guarantee you they finished top 10 in defense.
Top 10 in defense and points against.
That's correct.
All right, sir. Top 10 in defense and points against is the prognostication. Hey, how about prognosticating over the Broncos and the Raiders? This is the game, Monday night. Is this tied to your rant at all? Mayhaps? No? Okay. All right. Broncos.
It's tied to it.
We have Flacco. We have a guy, first year in this with the new team, Flacco. We have the Raiders with more drama than a little bit, and they were the what's it called again? The TV show.
Oh, Hard Knocks.
They were the Hard Knocks. You know, how apropos. Who was the genius who decided to make them the Hard Knocks team for the year?
I mean,
But
that's
whoever
the
that
team
was, they gotta
everybody
give it
cared
to them.
about it. The Browns had already been on, so up there. As far as like interesting teams that people really wanted to, I wonder how they're going to be. That was it. That was it. And here's the funny thing: the last episode, it was all grins and giggles, and Antonio Brown was like, everybody was loving him, and him and Gruden is slapping each other on the back, and then he goes to a high school game, like impromptu, you know what I mean? And the fans see him, they're like, A-B, A-B, and he's waving everybody. He's signing 1 million autographs. He's looking like the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, we're so happy to have A-B here. He's getting out there, and
then.
But let's just talk about the game. So,
okay.
I kind of like the Denver Broncos. You got to love a team that somehow, some way continues to be good defensively, probably just on the shoulders of Von Miller. He impresses me so much. The guy has a nonstop motor, and he just keeps getting it done.
He did his commercial.
Oh, the right guard joint. Yeah. But
Can't whistle.
The question is really Flacco, because a lot of people they were shoveling dirt on him in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and granted, the way that he played the year before and the way that he played at the beginning of the year when he first got Lamar kind of helped push him out the door. But I think they saw something in Lamar that they were just intrigued with, and they said, you know what? They did what the Giants don't have the cojones to do. They said, you know what? We got to see what this guy can do. And the only way we can do that is we got to push Flacco out the door. Because if we keep starting him and try to let Lamar sit back and learn from him, we're not going to win games. And we're not going to be able to see how he can adapt to offensive theories and stuff, okay? Let alone a new one or the one they had. Can he run an NFL offense? We'll never know unless we put him out there and play.
Well, he's not going to run an NFL. He's going to run some hybrid of NFL and college now. That's the offense that he's going to be running.
Who told you that?
Everyone's saying that. I mean, that's what everything they're talking about is how they're going to be running the ball. They are set to run the ball. He's going to do
an NFL offense.
Well, it's an offense because it's in the NFL, but a lot of
that's all I'm talking about.
A lot of the stuff that they're going to be running is going to be borrowed from college. There's a whole move toward utilizing more.
Absolutely,
well, that's all I'm saying.
It's when I say run an NFL offense, I mean you go in the locker room, you see these guys over here, see these receivers and running backs, and that's your line. Can you run that? Can you run them? Can you take control of your huddle, call your plays, make your reads?
All right, so we're talking kind of two different things. Then.
Right,
two different things.
Right. Because there is no NFL offense.
The
every team runs something different. So
the Ravens look. What do you think about their defense? How do you feel about their defense this year? If I remember last year, they were second in defense, having only given up 287 points. Only the Bears were better at 283. So they were right there on the Bears. Everybody's talking about how great the Bears defense is. Now they gave up.
The Bears defense.
They gave up their end, right?
Khalil Mack.
No.
I'm sorry, you got Khalil Mack.
From the Ravens.
Gave up what the end?
Didn't they give up their rusher, the guy that
Terrell Suggs?
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
Cardinals, I think.
Oh, good. Good for him.
Yeah.
He went for money.
But do you think they're going to, what do you think?
He's supposed to be a Raven for life. I'm sure. His board wasn't.
You think they're going to be as good as they were last year? The Ravens defense?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. I expect them to be just like I expected the Bears to be. So.
Yeah, well, then that's good. If they're anywhere near the Bears and the Bears are anywhere near there where they were last year, which was number one,
then they should be fine.
Then they should be competitive. And that's going to hold them in there. Oh, yeah, defensively, isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? All right, so we've covered all the games.
Good.
Normally, at this particular point, if you have some additional comments, something that's like a four-letter word, like a rant or anything like that, would be a chance to get into that.
I'm running out of steam, man. I'm running out of steam with this Antonio Brown thing. There comes a point, like I heard people throwing T.O.'s name around. T.O. would never do something like that. I really don't believe that he would. There is absolutely, positively nothing that not only me, but anybody else that I've heard talk about this on television or on the street can figure out or speculate why he would do what he did.
Antonio
to take
Brown.
that letter, yes, to take that letter and put it on Instagram.
Can I tell you?
What point did that make?
One of our followers on Facebook, shout out to Mark. You know who you are. I don't want to use your last name in case you don't want me to. He said it looked like CTE in action.
That's the closest thing to a possibility.
To a possibility. I was like, I hadn't thought about that.
That's the closest thing to a possibility. Hey,
he might have
he got clocked a couple times by who is now his teammate, Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah,
he put him to sleep 2 times, if I remember correctly, when he was on the Steelers.
Really?
Yeah, so actually changing that helmet was smart. Okay? But it seems like the whole helmet thing was a big game. And he let it be known that it was a big game. Remember, a week ago or so, we were talking, and we said he's put himself in a position where the helmet companies are willing to pay him to wear their helmet. And he's probably laughing because after going through all this arbitration and can I wear this one? Yes, no, maybe, training camp has frittered away. Yeah, he works out hard. Yeah, he's a workout warrior. Yeah, he's in shape. But nobody likes training camp and the rigors of training camp. And he pretty much got through the whole thing just BSing around with that doggone helmet.
Well, he could have done a
and made that part of the joke.
And that's what Julio said. He just didn't do it.
And made that a part of the joke about now they want to suspend me and they want to do this and they want to do that. And they're threatening me and ha ha ha, and I didn't play in the pre. Come on, man. That's not right. But what's even worse is now you tell me before we go on air here that they're not going to suspend him and he's supposed to play in the game.
Monday night.
That's weak.
Monday night. And this is Gruden.
That's weak. Well,
this is the man who's got the 10-year guaranteed contract, so he can make a decision without having to worry about getting fired per se.
I heard the theory that knowing the type of guy that they were bringing in when they brought him in, that they would handle him in a good cop, bad cop kind of way. And Mayock took his bad cop one step too far, and then Gruden had to reel him back in.
Really? That's what you're.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
Oh, well, okay.
I think it's a weak move. I think it's a weak move. But Gruden wants him, and he wants him bad, and he wants him to play, and that's just going to make it happen. So that's all I got to say about that.
So I asked this question on Instagram, and we're going to show you our social media before we go. So he apologized. He said, "I'm sorry" to the team, and I'm sure it was heartfelt.
What?
Even though I do hear that he used a few racist type names when he was calling.
When he was going at it with Mayock?
With Mayock, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah. So that all kind of got moved to the side. It seems like, okay. So the question is, when you have that type of vitriol, do those little chips in the relationship ever really heal? Or is everybody going to be looking at him kind of side-eyed now?
Everybody's going to be looking at him side-eyed. Between what happened with him with the Steelers and has happened with the Raiders,
And what he did to Juju.
Totally unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary. Guy's minding his own business.
You know what I'm
trying
saying?
to do his thing. It's crazy. I'm telling you, man. I think the guy's got some kind of mental issue. I really do. I think he's got some kind of mental issue. I'm not going to say it's CTE, but
I'll send you a picture of him in the pool with the green mustache.
He had a green mustache?
He was selling happy birthday wishes or something like that from his pool to people for a certain amount of money.
Stop.
And he had a green mustache.
I need this to end.
You didn't see the green mustache?
No, I saw the blonde mustache. That was enough.
Or was it blonde?
I can't even look.
Maybe it was blonde.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Green, blonde. Anyway.
That was a while ago.
I think
I can't even look at
green.
him like that.
It might have been blonde, but it looked green.
Nah. Listen, I don't care if he apologized to the team or not. Did he apologize to Mayock?
That I don't know.
Okay, so if they didn't say that, then it probably didn't happen.
Say that. I didn't see that in the article.
So he didn't do anything to the team.
I know, that's true. Well, he did.
How?
Did. And everything that he did has been
he put himself as the best player on the team in a position where he couldn't help that.
And then B, less integrative than it should have been. He should have been integrating into the team.
I'm sorry I treated the GM bad to the point where he thought about not allowing me to play with you guys on Sunday. That's his apology to the team. Get out of here, man.
I'm not saying it was a good apology. I'm just saying, So anyway, well, that's where it stands. I don't know if they're going to be able to move forward and whether that team, how highly as a team they can function now. So that's going to be the drama. That's what everyone's going to be looking at. Can he come in there? And we already talked about how this is, the first game of the season where most of the guys are playing together for the first time. I don't know. That might actually play to his advantage because, again, nobody's really been together all together. You know what I mean? If he runs his routes and he catches the ball when they throw it to him, if he gets open,
he will.
Then as far as the game is concerned, everybody's going to be pretty much mum. It's like, okay, we can't say too much. Hopefully, as far as the Raiders are concerned, that will happen. But it's going to be interesting to see. And then, what happens on the sideline.
Last thing I'll say about that is it's really, once the games start, it won't be about what AB can do. It'll be about if Derek Carr can get him the ball. That dude can't be covered. Can't be covered. I can't stand it right now.
So he's going to be open.
Oh, yeah.
The question is,
it's a question of, can they protect Derek Carr enough for him to get the ball to him?
And remember when we talked about how during the preseason, I was saying, how much blitzing was going on. We talked about how much blitzing was going on. It's a blitz happy world, and it's the same. I think it's the same mindset. As a defense, we know that you guys ain't quite ready for prime time yet, so we're coming. You know what I mean? And Aaron Rodgers couldn't stop him. And a lot of times those were third downs. Those were important downs. That's why the score was so low. But it was like, okay, you did this. It's 3rd and 7. Here we come. You know what I mean? And so that's going to be. I think that's going to be a theme across the NFL if they continue to carry forward for the preseason.
Probably will be
second preseason. All right, Mr. Dickerson. We talked about every game that's remaining.
Yes.
All through the Monday night game. You got your rant in. This is where we share. Let me just do real quick here. We do a little share. Let you know about our social media. So again, you had joined us as we kind of went through our Facebook page, Ben and Barry on Football. You can go at BNBOF to reach our page. Leave us some comments. As you can see, we have every game listed there, and you can click on every game and get some information, find out, get your fantasy if you need some fantasy information, things of that nature, or some Madden information. Some Madden updates should be happening very shortly. Let's see here. Twitter. Yes, we are also on Twitter. At BNB on Football. There we go again. We have some awesome Twitter friends, and we had a chance to share some information from the league. Kicking off, we haven't talked much about the 100 years. That's the theme of this year. The 100, NFL for 100 years. Anything you want to say about that real quick?
No, just that I think NFL Network has a program that they're going to be coming up with that celebrates the 100 years and supposedly the 100 greatest, this and that.
Yeah, 100
So that'll
greatest
be worth
on all
watching.
this. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Awesome, awesome. And then on Instagram, BNBOF, we're just getting started again on Instagram, where we try to give you some of the heat that's popping out. With the Zeke signing and all of that kind of good stuff. We actually did specific conversations on the air raid offense, so we kind of covered that a little bit for everybody. I actually am incorporating that into my Madden game. It's an amazing thing. So that's why when I said that, that's why I said it. Okay.
Don't go on a losing streak.
Well, we
Let's
should
talk about you.
We can talk about me because I will be starting my franchise.
Okay.
I'm about there. So
Good. Yes.
I'll be doing the franchise. I will have a record. I don't go online a lot because I just don't have the time. Like when I start playing, that my time has to be interruptible. So when I'm playing somebody, it's like I can't be,
Yeah, right.
I'm not taking
I can
calls.
understand.
I don't have a lot of that in my life. But in a regular game against the computer, I can pause that thing and do what I got to do. So that's why we do it that way. But I do go online every once in a while. I am at bmitch3, and I will try to improve my rating here and there, going and run a game or two, try to get my rating up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I'm not in a complete cellar somewhere, being a guy with one arm. So, all right, man. End the show. Got any last words?
Go Knowles.
Have a great one. Take care.